Remy asked me to give you a bit of an update of how things were going at Queen's. But before I do that, I just wanted to say a big thank you to everyone that's been praying for the hospital and praying for me and all the staff that have found things quite difficult after over the last few months. So I just want to say a big thanks to all of you for that support and prayer. In terms of an update of what's going on within the hospital, you would have known that the numbers are significantly going down, and the vaccination campaign has had a huge benefit, I think, on the transmission rate, certainly in the UK, of the number of cases that are now being transmitted of COVID. So things are looking much more positive, and we're seeing the impact of that on the wards and in ITU and even through A&E. So yeah, just a little bit of an update on the next journey, I guess. So I think that the most important thing is how tough, and recognising how tough a lot of relatives have found it, not being able to see their family. And that's been really difficult to see firsthand. And then the other bit is the impact that it's had on the staff, and that's been really hard for some. Some have found it, some have taken it in their stride, which is really positive. But others have, had to work in areas that they're very unfamiliar with, environments that they're unfamiliar with, and perhaps even seen things that they might not have seen, that has caused them quite a bit of a, in many instances, negative impact. So that's been really difficult. But there has also been quite a lot of positives that have come out of that, with staff learning new skills and working in new areas that they wouldn't have been exposed to before. But particularly, I think that it's been really valuable, the relationships they've built that they wouldn't have otherwise have done. So, for example, in theatres we're quite insular with our own department, but they've had the opportunity to go and work on the wards in A&E, in ITU, and get to build relationships with the staff they're working with, which I think in the long run is going to have quite a good impact on the way we run things across the organisation. And that goes across all the areas of the hospital. So I think that has been a really big positive thing that we've seen and will see over the coming months. And then I guess the next step. So the next step will be quite shortly, staff will be returning to all the staff will be returning to their home locations and restarting the work that they were doing before. So, for example, cancer services and in theatres we'll be restarting elective surgery, which we've got quite a large backlog, as you can imagine. So I guess the next, Remy asked me to talk about what the next prayer would be. I would say if everyone could be united in prayer for how we restart those services safely and effectively, and how we can do that bringing in a staff base that is quite tired, a little bit undervalued as a whole, and feeling just a bit tired of it all. So I just would like you to pray, if you wouldn't mind, for a united workforce that can pull together through this next stage, where we try and look to deal with and manage the backlog of work that we've got, which is quite significant. So yeah, that would be my prayer, and a prayer that I would ask you to have for us as a hospital and for us as a department over the coming months. But again, thank you all for your ongoing prayers. I think they've been really well received and really valuable, that staff know that you're caring for them. And thanks for Mari particularly as well. She kindly rallied together some money to buy some goodies for the theatre team, and they really did appreciate that. And it just showed that the community does really care about the work that everyone is doing. So those sort of gestures are really good gestures, and I think that knowing that everyone is really looking out for them and praying for them is really valuable. So thanks a lot.